Here we go. You're painting barn doors. You know that the perimeter, what's perimeter? Perimeter is the outside edge. It's the distance around the outside, right? So I could measure the distance along each wall, and I could figure out what's the perimeter of this room. So we are talking about painting barn doors. I know the perimeter of the doors is 64 feet, and the ratio of the length to the height is 3 to 5. Find the area of the doors. I'm going to start here. I see this number, and I'm like, what was that? That 64 feet was the perimeter. It says, you know, the perimeter of the door is 64 feet. And then I know what to say. The ratio of the length to the height is 3 to 5. Ratio of length to height is 3 to 5. So I'm going to put in this x here, 3x, and 5x, because it's a ratio of 3x to 5x. I don't know for sure how big they are. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw myself a picture, and I'm going to advise you to do the same, because we have our barn, doors, we are painting barn doors. The perimeter of the doors is 64 feet. So if I were to add up this side plus this side plus this side plus that side, supposing I knew the lengths, I'd add up to 64. But I don't know the lengths. The only thing they tell me is the ratio of length to height is 3 to 5. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over to my picture. I'm like, well, the length to the height, length is 3x, height is 5x. So I'm going to label them on my picture. And if I know this is 3x, isn't this also 3x? And if this is 5x, this is also 5x. So, watch this. What did we say? We said the length is 3x. We said the height is 5x, just to kind of get the stuff labeled so we know what we're talking about. So we said perimeter means add up all the sides, right? It's the distance around the outside edge. Okay, so what did I say the perimeter was? 64 feet, right? The perimeter equals 3x plus 5x plus 3x plus 5x, right? What do we get? 3 and 5 is 8, and another 8 is 16x equals my 64, right? Some of you will look at this and you're like, well, what is this formula over here? You're going to see this formula come up every now and then. This is the formula for perimeter. It says 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. It's a little shortcut. So watch this. We said our perimeter, again, is 64. And I'm just showing you a second way to do this. So perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. What did I say my length is? 3x. What's my width? Or in other words, in this case, my height? 5x. And I'm going to show you that this is going to give me the same thing as this over here. So whichever one you want to use, that's going to be completely up to you. But the perimeter says 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Add those together and that gives you your perimeter. What's 2 times 3x? So I have 6x plus 2 times 5 is 10x. And when I combine like terms because they're on the same side, 64 equals 16x. Same as that, right? Whichever way you like better is going to get us both to the same point as long as you do it right. So these both, when we solve both of those, they're the same. So I divide by 16, divide by 16, so x equals 4, right? So if x is 4, what's my length and what's my width? What do I do with that 4? Plug it in. 5 times 4 gives us 20, and we're talking about feet. And over here, 3 times 4 gives us 12 feet. So here's my question. This is 20 feet, and this is 12 feet, right? What's 20 plus 12? 20 plus 12 gives us 32. What's 32 and 32? 64. Is that my perimeter that I started with? Yeah. So did we do it right? Yeah. Yeah. So did I answer the question? No. What's the question say? Find the area of the doors. How do I find area now? Area of our doors, area of a rectangle is? What's the formula for area? Length times width, or the width times the height, right? So looking at my doors, I have 20, I have 12, so I say my area is 12 times 20, which gives us, what's 12 times 2? 24, add a 0. 240 square feet. So it takes like Corey said, it's what's inside. So it takes like 240 square feet, kind of like a square tile if they were each a foot by a foot. So that's how much it takes to cover my barn doors. So if you go to the store and you look at a can of paint, it's going to say 1 gallon of paint roughly covers so many square feet. So we could take that and we could figure out how many gallons of paint do I need to paint my barn doors. Rather than going to the store, buying 1 gallon, saying, hey, do I have enough? Oh, not quite. I need to go back, need to get another gallon. Oh, I still don't have enough. I'm going to make another trip to the store and buy another gallon. Or some of you will be like, oh, I'm just going to go to the store. I'm going to buy about 5 gallon. And if I have too much, I'm going to return it. Can you return premixed paint to the store? No. You can maybe like white or something if it hasn't been tinted. But you can't just return paint to the store. That's why it's important. Can you find the area of the wall or the door or whatever it is you need to paint to figure out how much paint you need? Let's try this one. The perimeter of a rectangular table is 21 feet. And the ratio of its length to width is 5 to 2. Pull this information out. What do we have? The perimeter of a table is 21 feet. The ratio of length to width is 5 to 2. It's length to width. So I'm going to put my x's in there. And let's see what we have. It's a table. So I'm going to draw a rough sketch of my table. It's a ratio of 5 to 2. So if I say 5x and I say 2x, there I have it labeled. The way I labeled it makes sense. This is the longer side, so it's the bigger number, 5x. There's the shorter side, so I labeled it 2x. What do we know about perimeter? Perimeter, you add up all the sides, right? So I could say my perimeter equals the sides added up. What is it? 5x plus 2x plus 5x plus 2x. 5 plus 2 is 7, and another 7 gives us, 14x. But Miss Roop, 14 doesn't divide into 21 evenly. You're right. What is x? 1.5. 3 over 2 is like the same thing as 1 over 5. So if x is 1.5, let's see, did we do it right? Because this question says find the length and find the width. If I take 1.5 and I plug it in here, 5 times 1.5 gives us 7.5. What are we talking about? Feet. And then I have 2 times 1.5 gives me 3 feet. So this is 3 feet, this is 7.5 feet. That means that's also 3 and this is also 7.5 feet. Did I do it right? What's 7.5 plus 3? What's 7.5 plus 3? 10.5, and what's another 10.5? 21. Did we do it right? Yeah, that's the perimeter I started with. So the question said find the length and find the width. Clean it up. The length is 7.5 feet, and the width is 3 feet. When we talk about extended ratios, you can fill in the blank here with your definition. An extended ratio is a ratio that compares more than two numbers. Extended ratio, a ratio that compares more than two numbers. So I tell you, the measures of the angles in triangle BCD are in the extended ratio 2 to 3 to 4. This is my extended ratio right here, 2 to 3 to 4. Find the measures of the angles. So what do we have? What's my picture? It's a triangle. So draw it, label it triangle B, C, and D. Measures of the angles in triangle BCD are in the extended ratio 2 to 3 to 4. Whenever I see this, I come up here right away. I put in my X's just so I don't forget. This triangle BCD, I'm going to say this is like B, C, and D. So B is 2x, C is 3x, and in this case, D is 4x. How many degrees in a triangle? 180, right? So how are we going to solve for x? Set them equal to 180. So we say 2x plus 3x plus 4x equals 180. That's the hard part. If they are on the same side of the equals, we can combine like terms. 2 plus 3 plus 4x gives us 9x equals 180. Divide by 9, good Brent? So x equals 20. Are we done? No. Says find the measures of the angles, so plug it in to each of your angles. So we have 3 times 20 gives us 60 degrees. 2 times 20 gives us 40 degrees. And 4 times 20 gives us 80 degrees. Check it. 60 and 40 is 100. 100 plus 80 gives us 180. We got it. You guys try this one on your paper. I'm going to do it up here and then you can check your work. But don't look up here. You got it on your paper. Do we got it? How we do? Did it check? Did you check it? 18 plus 72 plus 90, did they add up to 180 degrees?
Yeah.
Sure do.